It's the end of an era. It looks like Zero Punctuation, Yahtzee Croshaw's weekly video game review series, which I've been watching since 2007, around the time I lost my virginity, is done. Don't do that math. This video is not about the Escapist or why it ended, it's about the show, Zero Punctuation. Every episode of Zero Punctuation is largely the same. It's quick, about 5 minutes, with Yahtzee's sarcastic English accent shooting off faster than a Texan shooting a home invader. Zero Punctuation episodes feature no game footage, but instead feature a stark yellow background, with hastily drawn shapes that vaguely represent humans, along with various cutouts representing Yahtzee, Pyramid Head, Striders from Half-Life, Gordon Freeman, this stoic-looking guy who I still don't recognize, and whatever else he needs for his review. Other than that, it's mostly the same episode to episode, and since the beginning, every episode ended with 2 extra quippy lines on screen. Zero Punctuation is like the pitch meeting of video games.
So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do.
Or no, pitch meeting is like the Zero Punctuation of movies.
Hey, look, I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back.
Both are hilarious and popular YouTube series that are quick, between 5 to 7 minutes, funny, heavily critical of whatever property they're talking about, and only work if you've already played the game or watched the movie. Part of what I love about his videos is how much I agree with what he's saying. He's not like watching an IGN review or some other mainstream publication. Even though I assume the Escapist is mainstream, he says what he wants.
To me, the Silent Hill series is over, and if Silent Hill 5 convinces me otherwise, then I will remove 3 of my own vertebrae, curl my spine back, and eat my own arse. The Half-Life series has always been a beacon of excellent design philosophy in the dark, wild, piss-stained swamplands of the video game industry. But what the fuck, right? It's short, but it's cheap and comes with lots of fun extras, not unlike your mum, so let's just run with it and talk about the game.
Was the game actually good, or is this a case of being truncheoned with a disembodied horse cog for so long and so hard that now it's the only way we can wake up in the morning?
And as I discovered again today, Zero Punctuation episodes are like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. And also like Pringles, it makes my sides split, but with laughter instead of, lard. I think I watched 25 episodes today. I watched Half-Life, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill Downpour, The Last of Us 2, Minecraft, Bioshock, Psychonauts, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and more, just because it's so easy to keep watching. You're constantly thinking, oh, I played that one too, I wonder what he said about that. Just like with Pitch Meeting. And Yahtzee not only provides comedy, but also insights that you knew but never actively thought of. Like thinking about why it's satisfying to build in Minecraft.
That 80-foot golden cock and balls wouldn't be so satisfyingly turgid if it weren't for the entire continent you had to turn upside down to find all the ore.
Or how weird the hacking mechanic is in Bioshock.
Cameras are sometimes a bit hard to reach, but if you'll jump and hit the hack button when it comes into range, then you'll remain floating in mid-air while you work, and any enemies who happen to be around obligingly wait for you to finish up before resuming the murder.
And sometimes he's just plain nonsensical, like in his Silent Hill 4 review.
Now I'm bored of saying Silent Hills, and from now on I'm going to call it Splappy Boom Blappy.
And other times, he'd review games that don't exist. Like his review of the perpetually in-production sequel to Duke Nukem 3D, Duke Nukem Forever.
Duke Nukem Forever is a genre-defying masterpiece, combining elements of first-person shooters, adventure games, RTSs, typing tutors, cooking mama, and ordinarily I'd expect such a game to feel schizophrenic and thinly spread, but it all merges seamlessly together in a way I thought impossible.
As it happens, after 12-ish years of development, Duke Nukem Forever actually did come out, and he reviewed that too.
The development of Duke Nukem Forever can best be equated to some guys trying to build a house opposite a boat on a river. Unfortunately, legendary superhero Captain Obvious wasn't available to explain that the boat is always going to have moved on by the time the house gets finished, isn't it?
Zero Punctuation blew up pretty much right away. According to Yahtzee's mini documentary on the Escapist, he had been posting on the internet for a while, writing novels and developing indie adventure games for fun. When he posted his first Zero Punctuation to YouTube, he was unemployed, staying on a friend's couch, waiting for a call from the temp agency. Since he didn't have any means of production, he used a crappy USB headset mic and Photoshop to make his videos. At the time, YouTube was fully new, and other video sites like Newgrounds and eBombs World hosted most of the video. There wasn't really a centralized video site yet, but clearly Yahtzee chose well, as his first Zero Punctuation video blew up almost instantly. And quickly after that, he was hired by the Escapist, where he's been for the better part of 16 years, until this past week. It's been a while, but I stumbled upon Yahtzee way back, probably because of his Psychonauts review. Psychonauts was a game about a school for young, gifted psychic kids, and in his video about it, he lambasts his viewers for not buying it because at the time, Psychonauts was the poster child for a great game by a great developer that no one wanted to play, except myself, Yahtzee, and Jared from Subway. But I think that was for different reasons. Just the fact that he put out a review of Psychonauts was enough to make me instantly fall in love with the series. Back in 2008, I felt more alone in the gaming universe. Tim Schafer, the creator of Psychonauts, was also the creator of many of my favorite LucasArts adventure games from the 90s, but they were offbeat, and popular, but not Halo popular. They were DOS-based PC game popular, so not very popular. But then came this potty-mouthed Brit yelling at his audience for not buying it.
Congratulations, you have just received your punishment for not buying Psychonauts. I'd like to know how you think gaming is ever going to adapt as an art form when people go out of their way to make original games, but fuckwits like you never actually buy them because they're too busy inhaling furious amounts of dick. If you did buy Psychonauts, please disregard the preceding.
Mentioning Tim Schafer by name.
The mind behind Psychonauts belongs to Tim Schafer, a luminary of LucasArts in the days when LucasArts was the foremost developer of clever, smart, funny adventure games like Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle before LucasArts decided to axe the cleverness division in favour of the milking the Star Wars license until its udders turned into little black stalactites department.
That combined with having a similar love for story-based comedic adventure games, and I was sold. He appreciated a good story and was also totally unforgiving with his criticism. He saw video games as art, held them to a higher standard than just point gun at pretty thing and kill it. He also had a blog, and still does, called Fully Ramblomatic, which had updates and links to his indie adventure games, novels, all the stuff that he couldn't put in a Zero Punctuation episode. It gave me at least a tiny sliver of a sense of community when it came to adventure games, especially. In fact, he's coming out with an indie game right now. Here, I'll play the trailer right now and put a link in the description to wishlist it. One of my favorite Zero Punctuation reviews was his review of Silent Hill 2. The Silent Hill series was way up there in my mind, one of my favorites along with Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid, and this was at a time when the internet wasn't saturated with video game criticism, and I was unaware that other people considered it a masterpiece. But given how often Yahtzee was unforgivingly critical of a game, I was surprised and delighted that he fucking loved Silent Hill 2.
My infrequent habit of pausing mid-rant to drop to my knees and wrap my lips around old favourite titles of mine is well established, and over the last 2 years, Silent Hill 2 has barely had time to wipe my saliva off week to week. I guess I've been saving this for a special occasion, but what could be more special than my 102nd video?
It was nothing but praise for this fantastic game. It's a short list of games that Yahtzee actually praised on Zero Punctuation. Silent Hill 2, Portal.
Lastly, there's Portal, and if you're a regular viewer, you'll understand how insane these words feel coming out of my mouth, but I can't think of any criticism for it. I'm serious, this is the most fun you'll have with your PC until they invent a force feedback codpiece.
I only recently got into Minecraft. I'm way late to the game, but it was so satisfying to play it non-stop for a week, then realize, hey, there's a Zero Punctuation about it, and then agree with literally every word he's saying while laughing my ass off.
The water around Brisbane got sick of waiting for people to come hit the beach and decided to bring the party to us. Oh goody, that means I can go back inside and keep playing Minecraft. The sensible level-headed thing to do would be to tunnel down into the centre of the earth. Perhaps there, thought I would find the point to all this. Well, after wearing out more pics than Jimi Hendrix on a caffeine drip, I found a fair amount of iron, 3 lava flows, every single one of which I fell into and lost all my items. This is a game where having the resources to bake cakes is a mark of considerable status.
Same goes for his reviews of the post-Team Silent Hill games. It helps to be a diehard fan of the series, so we share the same diehard fan opinions.
Pyramid Head also makes his contractual appearance for no better reason than fan service. His big scene involves him walking across a room and pausing at one point to lingeringly stare at the camera, stopping just short of doing a little song and dance routine. But maybe if the original creators of something don't want to continue it, then you should listen to them, because otherwise you're only making it to please the fans. And why would you want to do anything for fans? I mean, I'm a Silent Hill fan, and I've just spent a whole review whining like a broken motor. Fans are clingy, complaining dipshits who will never ever be grateful for any concession you make. The moment you shut out their shrill, tremulous voices, the happier you'll be for it. Incidentally, why not buy a Zero Punctuation t-shirt?
He's also a fan of Resident Evil.
Oh, Resident Evil 7, you've made me the happiest game critic in the world. But what furrows your brow, my love? Oh, I was just thinking about when I was Resident Evil 2.
But isn't afraid to take the piss out of it.
What I don't like so much is the big indestructible neckbeard in a trench coat and fedora who pursues you relentlessly from room to room because you made the mistake of admitting that you liked an anime once and now he won't leave you alone until he's shown you his entire Blu-ray collection. It's a classic example of what was once termed a second-order idiot plot, or situation that could only exist if every character is an idiot. Hey, I'm going to ride my bike to another city to see if my brother is at the police station. Did you try phoning the police station? Hey, I'm going to make a virus that transforms people into gigantic super strong monsters for military applications. How would that be more efficient than just dropping a big bomb?
And you know he made a joke about Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, sorry if you got into that whole meme that arose around Lady Dimitrescu, because whoops, she's only the boss of the first area, she dies like 2 hours in, and then it's back to fantasizing about your high school French teacher in a milkmaid outfit.
I think the saddest part about Yahtzee's exit from The Escapist is that he just started a new series called Extra Punctuation, where he doesn't talk about individual games, but instead talks about concepts, like the walk and talk, replay value, and loading screens. Because as sad as it is that Zero Punctuation had to end, it did have 834 videos? Damn. And The Escapist owns all of those videos, so I don't know your ethics, but choose to watch them or don't. They're very funny, but also watching is giving views to the company that Yahtzee left. It sounds like they fired his main producer because he didn't hit impossible metrics and everyone left with him, including Yahtzee. But who knows? This may or may not actually be the end for Zero Punctuation. The Escapist owns it, but I can't see why Yahtzee wouldn't be able to make a new show called, I don't know, Very Little Punctuation or No Periods. Yeah, probably no periods. And use a light blue background instead of yellow. Or maybe he could take 1 week off as he's been making a weekly video for basically his entire adult life. But my favorite part of Zero Punctuation, and what makes it special, is the fact that it's both juvenile potty humor, dumbass one-liners, and highbrow insights into story, characters, art, and gaming. He gets it. We grew up on the same games, we have the same sensibilities, and clearly it resonated with a lot of people, as most of his videos have at least 1 million views. So I hope he keeps putting out content. I'll definitely be here for it. And wishlist his game, you freeloaders!